man, I'm gonna get in trouble for this video. It's gonna be controversial, I'll tell you right now, and I'm probably gonna have like a lot of bros coming at me for it and everything, but it's just my opinion.
Kathy Griffin is totally out of line for her comments about Kanye and his wife, or fake wife, or spiritual wife, or I don't know what you call it. Let's get into it.
That's something I've been thinking about. Okay, so we've all seen those photos of Kanye and his new wife, Bianca Censori, right? So I don't need to show you. And it's easy to make fun of Kanye. I mean, I make fun of him in my act because he's like crazy and nutty and does all these things. But when I see those photos where she's in pantyhose and like not even a bandeau top, it's really all about being see-through and stuff. I think, number one, she has a banging body. Like, of course, I would kill for that body, so this isn't about that. But she does have a body that is almost identical to Kim. And what I wanted, just sort of, what I'm suggesting, this is just my belief, is this is going to be bad. I actually think that he may be physically abusing her. And at the very least, 100% I think he's psychologically abusing her. Now, let me tell you.
Now, Kathy, this is definitely an opinion that you should have just kept to yourself. You should not have recorded this. There's a few reasons why. Because one, you don't know if that man is being abusive to her. Secondly, if you had any kind of issue, I'm pretty sure you can call the Kardashians, as you are friends with them. Let's not forget. So I'm wondering if the Kardashians even set this up for her to do this. Because if they were really friends with her, they should have shut this down immediately. You can't put out there that this black man is quote unquote abusing this woman, and we don't know that for a fact. What the is wrong with you?
I talked about my dead brother, Ken, on this app, who was a physically abusive man toward actually his wife and his girlfriend, who both told me. But one time his wife told me about a time that he had physically abused her when she was out of the shower. He locked her outside their apartment and she was totally naked because he wanted to humiliate her in that way. So when I see this woman who has no voice, we have not heard a peep out of her. I've read that she has a master's degree in architecture from a university in Australia. She's gorgeous. She seems to have no voice whatsoever. She's not on social media. I don't know if he's not letting her talk, but I just think that her walking around with him, and he's covered up in practically a freaking burqa. I mean, he's covered up in scarves and clothes.
Rest in peace to your brother, but because your brother wasn't you can't say that Kanye is doing the same thing. At the same token, I believe that this Bianca chick that he's with now, we didn't know who she was. This is why she doesn't have a voice on social media. We had no idea. I bet you anybody that Kanye dates understands what they're getting into. They know that he's a fashion guy. This is why they dress up in those weird clothes. I don't know why Kanye loves to dress up like a homeless man, but that's his fashion, that's his style. But at the same time, this is what he's known for. He did that with that Julia chick. I believe her name is Julia, don't quote me. But he did that with that Julia chick as well too after Kim. So let's be real about it. This is what Kanye is known for. Granted, we never knew who this woman was before. This Bianca chick kind of came out of nowhere. I know that she's a model and stuff like that, but to the masses, we didn't know who she was. So how do we not know that she isn't using this as an opportunity to gain fame and popularity and notoriety? How do we know that she's not playing Kanye? I mean, granted, if the man said, hey, I'm gonna dress you up in some weird fashions, you want to be famous, this is what you got to do. Boom.
But when they were in Italy, and he had her drop to her knees, what looks like in the photos, and give him a service, and we saw his bare butt, knowing there were paparazzi photographers all the way around and people with just phone cameras, that to me just reeks of abuse. Like, get on your knees and do this now on a freaking water taxi. So it might sound to guys like, oh, that's sexy in a fantasy. Doesn't look like a fantasy for her. And they sort of got in trouble in Italy, and she still, walks around with him in pantyhose. and always high heels. And you guys, she's not selling this stuff. So there were sort of similar photos with Kim back in the day, and then Kim would be wearing Skims, which she was selling, God love her, and now she's a billionaire, and that worked, and this does not seem like that. And the photo where she has a pillow in front of her breasts, I don't know if she was like, can I just go out with a freaking pillow or what? But then they went to Germany and they went to a fashion show. And this time she was in like a thong and like this sort of, I'm going to sound silly now, like this like big bird headdress where it looked like she couldn't see and yet still like practically naked. And there's video of them walking down a stairwell going to this fashion show, and he's not holding her hand, he's not helping her. And so I don't know her, I'm never gonna meet her, but I just wanna know what you guys think, because it just looks like something a really controlling, abusive dude would do. Okay. Send.
Now, I will say, honestly, in my opinion, do I feel like their relationship is weird? Yes, but Kanye is a weird guy in general. But I would never put out there that he's being abusive to his wife. One thing I will say is that I disagree with Kanye with his politics, his thought process, and a lot of other things that he say, especially how he tries to be pro-black, but then want the acceptance of white people. That, to me, is a no-go, so that's why I don't rock with Kanye. However, I am not going to put out any lie about him being abusive, and especially we know how people like to paint that brush on black men. We're not going to do that today, and we're not going to do that ever again. And I know I'm going to get some people in the comments saying, AT2, what does race have to do with this? Kathy has her own biases, and of course she's not going to admit it, but she has her own biases. And what I mean by that is she sees that Bianca, the white woman, is a total victim, and she sees Kanye as being the villain. And it's like, why do you have that perception that he's doing something to this woman? Like, we don't know her to know that she's not able to speak for herself or she's not in control of the situation. If anything, like I said, her and Kanye could have a business relationship as well as some kind of agreement with each other. So we don't know. But we cannot put that jacket on this black man, because if it was just an average day black man or like somebody like me and you said that I was abusing this woman and she happened to be white, we all know how that can turn out.